Hey, I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and today we're going to show you how to install this Tusk Polycarb Rear Window with speaker cutouts on your Polaris RZR Pro XP4. Now this is designed specifically for the premium and ultimate editions, or any machine that you've added the Stage 4 Rockford Fosgate audio upgrade kit on. So if you have speakers, this is definitely something you want to add to your machine because it's going to help protect you and your passengers from the elements. And on these bigger machines, they tend to kick up a lot of dirt when you're coming to a stop. So this is going to help block out some of that dirt from coming into the cab. It's also scratch resistant. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get started. To get this job done, we're just going to need a few common hand tools. So a 4 and 5 millimeter Allen, as well as a 10 millimeter combo wrench and a T40 Torx bit. Now with the Allens, you know, some of the 5 millimeters are hard to reach. So having a regular Allen instead of one of these T's can be helpful in some spots. And then we're also going to be using safety glasses and a tape measure. The first step is to remove a couple Torx bolts. So these are just going to be in between your headrests towards the front of the cargo bed. We're just using a T40 Torx bit to do that. So then from here, you need to install the lower bracket. So the bend, the part that's sticking up, is going to face towards the back of the machine. We're just going to reuse those 2 screws we just removed. And I'm just going to center this up and I'm going to tighten those down. The next step is to disassemble the 6 roll cage clamps. We're going to start with these vertical bars, and up towards this bend right here, you're going to install one of these clamps, and we are not going to be using the rubber strips that came in them. We're going to leave them all loose enough that we can make adjustments once we set the rear window in place. Then you're going to measure down about 5 3/4 of an inch, and we're going to place another roll cage clamp right there. We'll do the same thing on the other side. And as you put these on, make sure you have the flat side of the clamp facing up. Next, we're going to have 2 roll cage clamps going across this top roll cage bar. And with this, the flat section of the clamp is going to be facing down. And then for us, we already had a roof installed on our machine. So we've gone ahead and removed the mounting hardware, and we've slid this forward out of the way. And if you have a roof, you're probably going to have some foam tape here. So at this point, what you want to do before you install the clamps is dry fit the rear window, and you're going to mark where these clamps are going to line up on that roll cage bar, and then cut a little section of that foam tape out. So once you figured out where the roll cage clamps need to go, you're going to install them on the top, and they should be about 17 3/4 inches apart from center to center. Now I do want to point out, with these upper roll cage clamps, not only is the flat part facing down, but the mounting hole, that's going to be towards the back of the machine. So once you have all the roll cage clamps loosely installed, we're going to head over to the bench and get the rear window ready. Now over at the bench, we're going to prep the rear window. So first thing, I've got rubber gloves on. That's going to help me keep my fingerprints off this window. And then from here, you just need to remove the protective backing on both sides of this. We've got a blanket down so we don't scratch it. Now the next step is to install the bulb seal. So you'll notice that you have 2 longer pieces and 1 shorter piece. The shorter piece is going to go across the very bottom in the middle. And when you put this on, if you pinch this seal together, it's going to give it a tighter fit. So if you notice any loose points, you can simply do that. So you can see this end, we've got a little excess bulb seal. So I'm just going to use some dikes or side cutters to trim that off. And then the 2 longer pieces, they're going to go around the speaker cutouts. So we're going to do the same steps on these. Now to set the rear window in place, we're going to start inside the cab, and we're going to work one side of the window over the roll cage clamps, and then push it far enough over that you can work it over the other side as well. And then that lower bracket, we want the rear window on the inside of that bracket. So I need to lift that up and in. And then we're going to start installing the bolts for that lower mounting bracket. So you have the little spacer in between the bracket and the windshield. Then you're going to take the bolt, put a washer on it, and then put it through the bracket, through the spacer, then through the rear window, and then put the nut on the inside. After that, you can line up all of the roll cage clamps to the rear window in those mounting locations, and we're going to take the button head bolts that we previously removed along with those washers, and we're going to thread those through the rear window into the clamps. Once you have everything loosely installed, you want to adjust it for optimal fitment, and then I'm going to start by tightening down the bolts that are going through the rear window, and then go back through and tighten down the rest of the hardware. And one more tip, you want to be careful not to over tighten the hardware because you could potentially damage your rear window. That's how you install the Tusk Polycarb Rear Window with speaker cutouts on your Polaris RZR Pro XP4. If you have any questions about the install process, leave those down in the comments below. And if you need to pick one of these up, they're available on our website. We offer free shipping on orders over $75. So go check that out. And if you want to install any other accessories on your machine, maybe you want a roof or adventure roof rack, something like that, we have how-to videos to help guide you through that process. So go check that out as well and subscribe to our channel. I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Thanks for watching.